Welcome back. In this tips and tricks series of Azure, we are going to discuss a very important topic with regards to Azure Virtual Machine. So in on-premises or in your VMware environment, so what we generally do is we get access to the operating system either through the physical remote console like HP provides ILO and Dell provides DRAC and different hardware providers, they provide options to take operating system remotely through the remote hardware management console. And similarly, if you are using virtualization products like Microsoft Hyper-V or VMware vSphere, you do get options to manage the operating system remotely using the console. So many of you have asked me whether we have an equivalent option in Azure to take the remote of the operating system if it doesn't boot properly, or if I cannot log into operating system, how I can get into the single user mode or the maintenance mode. And there is also another option called rescue mode. So if you want to get into this single user mode, yeah, Azure does provide you option for all the Linux operating systems. I'll quickly show you how to get into that. So log into the Linux Azure virtual machine that you are having the challenge. Scroll down to the section help. Under that, you could see an option called serial console. So this option allows you to connect to the single user mode via the serial console. So in Linux, you have something called GRUB. You might have heard about the Grand Unified Bootloader, right? So that Grand Unified Bootloader, it helps you to bring your machine into the single user mode or the rescue mode. So in order to take your machine to that, so you can edit the grub configuration file in your /etc, and then increase the timeout for the grub to wait for you to edit the bootloader and then get into the single user mode. So let's see, once after you get into this serial console, after you enter the credentials, go and edit the configuration file for the Grand Unified Bootloader, the GRUB. So in Ubuntu Linux, so this is the path you have to get inside. And then here, what you can do is instead of having a 1 second timeout delay, you can just increase whatever time. So always think about the delay that this is going to bring for your boot procedure. So if you're having a very higher number, so definitely this is going to increase the time it takes to boot your operating system. So if you don't want to have it, so reduce the time. And here, so if you want the grub to show a menu in order for you to select where you want to get inside and edit it, so you can just change this instead of the menu timeout or the other style, you can just have menu as the option here. So these are the only two options that you need to update. And once after you update, you have to update the grub by using the command update-grub. So this will update the configurations. And once after it is done, what you can do is like you can reboot the system from here by issuing a reboot command, or you have the option to restart here. The restart VM option is on the top, or else you can go to the overview and there is a restart virtual machine that Azure platform provides. So let's try to reboot and then see if it takes us to the boot, the grub menu, where see, I could see that it is showing me that there is a timer that is going on. So if I press Control plus E, it will take me to that screen where I can edit it, right? So I can just go and select the option here. So it is showing me Ubuntu in the drop down menu, and I mean it's the menu that I have got. If I press E, it will allow me to edit the grub. Okay, so here what you have to do is you have to go and search for a line which has got a Linux, and also it has got a line, a word RO. So in this particular line, you can just go and add. Okay, so now this is the menu that I was talking about. Press E here to edit something in that menu and search for the line where you have this Linux and also the RO, And after this word RO, the read only, you can just add single. Okay, there has to be a space before the word single and after that. Okay, just give a space and then give single and ensure that there is a space after single word. Okay, so once after you save it, you can just say Control X to save and boot into the single user mode. So let's try that. So you can also see the different options here. You can either press Control plus X, or you can also say F10. Okay, let me say Control X and then let me see if it is taking me to the single user mode, or we call it as maintenance mode in some of the operating system. Yep. So let's see. So here, if there is some issue with your file system, or if you're not able to boot into your operating system properly, or you have login challenges, you can enter into this single user mode. Okay. Okay, let me restart the system to see if it is taking me to the single user mode directly, because we have edited and saved it. Ideally, it should take us to the single user mode. It should not be asking the credentials. Let's see. So you can do the same in other operating system like SUSE Linux or CentOS or Red Hat. I will show you what I have to edit in that particular flavor of Linux. So it is resuming our connection to the serial console. Yeah, so let's go and verify whether the changes that we have made has been saved. Okay, interesting. So it's not there. Okay, let's go to the line, and then after the word RO, let me have single added. I could also see that there is one more line with okay, Linux and RO. There are two different line items which has got duplicated. Maybe let me try to add it here as well, so that it say whether this makes any difference. We'll see. Ideally, there should not be multiple line items. Okay, so this is for Azure, and there are two different partition styles. Okay, fine. I think now I can just give it a Control X and then see if it takes me to the single user mode directly. Yeah, looks like now I can see that it is asking me to enter for getting into the maintenance mode. I can just say enter. And yeah, so you are directly logged in. You have not, it doesn't ask for the username and password. And if you want to run the command to view the system logs, you can also just say journal ctl -xb. So there are a lot of different troubleshooting that you can do. This is just about viewing the logs, but system logs. But there are a lot of different stuff that you can do. If there is an issue with your file system, or if there is any issue with logging into the system, you can do a lot of correction, a lot of maintenance activities in this console. Okay, so you can just view the logs here by just scrolling down, or by just pressing the space bar. And if you want to quit from here, you can just say Q, and then it quits from the window. And if you exit, it will exit and reload your system back to the normal mode. Okay, this is how we generally troubleshoot by using the single user mode. So now it takes us to the prompt where you have to do login in the normal operating system. Okay, so similarly for Red Hat Linux, if you ask me like where to go and change it, so you have the documentation directly in Microsoft Portal. You have to go and edit this line item, and then instead of having emergency.target, in the end of the line, you just have to add rescue.target. So you can just see the option here. So here you just have to change it to rescue.target. So that will take you to the single user mode in Red Hat Linux. Okay, similar options are there for other operating system. For your SUSE Linux, what you have to do is you have to just this is for one another version within your Red Hat. Okay, so for the latest version of Red Hat, you just have to add rd.break, and that will take you to the single user mode, the maintenance mode in the latest Red Hat operating system. Similarly, for your SUSE Linux, you have to edit the GRUB file, you have to get into the serial console submenu and then update the command line argument to this particular entry, and that it takes you to the single user mode or the maintenance mode in your SUSE Linux operating system. So in SUSE Linux, you have to run this command. You have to use the yast command to update the bootloader, and you just have to specify this particular line. And once after you update it, just press F10 to save the settings and exit from there. So it will take us to the maintenance mode and you can update it. So these options are available for different flavors of Linux operating system. I hope this helps. Thank you.